I just want to give an update on my PS1 collection. I got a bunch of new games since last time we talked. I've got Bugs Life, that's another game that I liked as a kid. All these games that I'm mentioning, oh, I've got Croc 2, that was hard to get. These are all games that I've acquired recently. Through like Trade Me, like last time. I got C12 Final Resistance, which is a super rare game. I'm pretty sure the person who sold me this didn't know it was a rare game because they sold it for like $10. I've never seen it for sale, and I've never seen it since on Trade Me. So I like snapped that up. I don't think I had Driver last time, but Driver is another game that's like a classic PS1 game. Never owned it myself. I also acquired Driver 2 at the same, like around the same time. They weren't too expensive, thankfully. And I got the proper case of Frenzy. I showed off Frenzy in the previous one, but I got a much better case for it that had all the covers and stuff. I got another Gex game. So I already had Gex 3D, but I got Gex Deep Cover Gecko, which is technically the third game. Gex 3D is actually the second game, and in the US, it is named differently, so that this is actually called Gex 3 Deep Cover Gecko. Because of the 3D, I think, they decided to not call it Gex 3, because that would confuse people. Oh. I've got my phone plugged in, which means I can't move it very far. Let's see if I can move the cable. That's better. Okay. So then we got, I got Guardians Crusade. This is a rare game. It was pretty expensive, but it's a classic. A game that me and my brother loved. My brother was quite surprised and like interested when he found out I had acquired this. I'll show it off. I realized I should show them off because people don't necessarily know what they look like. This is like a little RPG game. It's another Japanese game. Little like turn-based game. But it was unique in the fact that you had a pet that would always follow you around, like Pokemon, like in the modern Pokemon games. And the other unique feature was that it had an overworld with monsters that you could run into. It was very much like your Dragon Quest. That's how I would describe it. Oh, so those games that we saw before that I didn't show off. Keep the format. Yeah, Bugs Life. It's a classic. I played the demo and rented it a bunch of times, but never got around to buying it. Croc 2. This is not got subtitles, just Croc 2. It was really hard to find a copy of this that wasn't like super expensive. I never played Croc 2 myself, but I always liked Croc, so I always wanted to get Croc 2, but I could never get it. And I never saw it in rental stores either. C12, once again, this is a game that I only ever saw a demo for. I have a demo disc for it, and that was the only time I ever saw this game was on a demo disc, and it was some really hard, like, shooter game. Third-person shooter game. I'm interested to, like, give it another go, because I never really got to play it. Yeah, as I said, I had a demo disc for it, but I never was able to get the actual game. So I never got to see it really in full. Driver 1. Yeah. And then Driver 2. People know Driver, especially the first Driver, for its notoriously difficult introduction level. In order to get into the game, you have to pass a driver's test, and the driver's test requires such difficult maneuvers that most people didn't even get past that thing without cheating. Like, I know I didn't. It was like, I could get through like 90% of the moves, but there was just a couple of moves, a couple of like driving maneuvers that I just couldn't achieve, like slalom or like turn 180 with a handbrake turn. They're not real driver's ed maneuvers. They're definitely just for the game. Got Gex Deep Cover Gecko. Unfortunately, it has this like hazard cover. A bunch of games from like Crystal Dynamics have these like hazard cover versions. I don't like them, but they're like impossible to find these games without them. It's like their own version of Platinum. Instead of having the silver case, they had these like special cover versions. And that goes for, I believe, the next game in the list. Oh no, not the next game. I think it might be this game. Yeah, here we are. I've got a game to show before this one as well, but Hogs of War as well. Its cover. Oh, why is the manual in front of the cover? Oh, I put the manual in front of the cover because the cover it has that special cover. This is another brand. This isn't Crystal Dynamics. This is Infogrames. They have this special like Best of Infogrames cover, which is like Platinum, but it's not Platinum. It's their own version, because probably the game didn't go Platinum. But before that, in alphabetical order, we got Hercules. It's a classic PS1 game. Just a 2D side-scroller platformer game. Lots of people know this game. It's very popular. It's also on PC. I think you can get it on Steam, actually. It's not particularly rare, that's why I just got the regular version of it. What else did I get? I think I showed this one and this one in the bonus thing at the end of the previous one. Pandemonium 2 as well. Overboard. This is a game I mentioned, but I didn't have at the time. This is also a special cover version, which is frustrating. You can see the original cover in there. I didn't know this was a special cover version until after I bought it. It didn't show the cover in the article, because the person selling it was selling multiple games. So I only got to see the edge of it. This is a really interesting, like, boat game. You're in, like, a pirate ship. Oh, actually, I'll see if the back cover shows that. You, like, drive around a pirate ship. Oh, it's hard to focus. Yeah, you drive around a little pirate ship, and you've got to, like, blow up enemies and stuff like that, and you get power-ups. It was just really, I remember being really hard. It was really fun. I mainly remember the music. The music from that game is really, really memorable and catchy. So now we got some more, this is where all the newer games are. We've got Rayman 1 and 2, there's the Platinum Rayman. Everyone knows Rayman, I think. Ubisoft's original IP. Rayman 2, The Great Escape. Those games are a little bit harder to come across. I never played either of these as a kid. I only got them because I was like, oh, those are games that people love. I've got to try these out for myself. The first Rayman, I believe, is a 2D platformer, whereas Rayman 2 is a 3D platformer. And Rayman 2 is, I think, the one that everyone thinks of when they think of Rayman. Rugrats, realize these are all upside down. Rugrats, Search for Reptar. This is it's like a pretty shitty 3D platformer game. I'll move it like this so you can see it the right way. But I loved it as a kid. It was very silly. It just basically has episodes of the series, but in, like, level form. Like, not well made. Not super well made, but it was fun, nonetheless. Sheepdog and Wolf. I am so thrilled that I managed to find this. This is such a rare game. It's called something different in the US. Editing Rory might, if he cares, if he can be bothered, he'll put what the American title is. Sheepdog and Wolf is a really cool game. I mentioned Looney Tunes games being really cool in the previous video. This is a Looney Tunes game that it's just got such cool mechanics. It's like a puzzler, but it involves platforming. You play as Wolf, a Looney Tunes character called Wolf, and you're versing a sheepdog named Sam. I think his name's Sam. And you've basically got to steal his sheep. And you got, like, the cool part of it comes from the fact, firstly, that you can run like a cartoon character, so you can run in that way where their, like, legs move ridiculously fast, and when they run over a gap, if they run over a gap in a space, they, like, can run straight over it as if it's nothing. But if they run for too long over nothing, eventually they'll just sort of stop, look down, and go like, uh-oh, and then fall to their death. You can do that in this game. It's really cool. It's a really cool idea. So basically, if you're running fast enough, you can run over holes. But also, you get all the Acme tools, like Wile E. Coyote would order. You just get, like, an airdrop of an Acme tool, and it's like a rocket. And then you strap it to your back, and you, like, fly over a section of the level or whatever. It's got really, really cool mechanics. I love that game a lot. Then we've got the Simpsons Wrestling. This is a game that's, like, very poorly rated, and it is pretty shitty. But it's basically just like a game where you play as Simpsons characters and you wrestle each other, or you fight each other. It's like a ring fighter, and I just remember enjoying it as a kid. It's a very shitty movie, TV show tie-in game, but I liked it, so I wanted to get it. Anyway, we've got South Park Race Rally. I don't know why I got this. This was, once again, this is another, like, really shitty, like, racer tie-in thing. I remember playing a demo of this as a kid, and that's the only reason why I got it. It was cheap. And then we got this one. This is Speed Freaks. This is another racer game, but this one is... I played it at a friend's house, and once again, I never saw it anywhere else other than this one friend's house. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a proper cover of it, so it's just in a temporary case. But, it was just a really neat game. I remember enjoying it as a kid, so I thought I'd get it. And then we got Spyro, yep. Oh, we got Tarzan here. This is another like platformer, like pretty not great, but people seem to like it, and it sells. Like lots of people buy, like lots of copies of this are being sold and bought on Trade Me. So clearly people like enjoyed that game from the past. Now we've got this like side group that are all the way over here. I think it's mostly the same, except I got a new copy of Theme Hospital. We used to have Theme Hospital on PlayStation. I don't know what happened to the case or whatever. Maybe it was barred and never returned or whatever. But I actually really enjoyed Theme Hospital as a kid. So that's why I played it on PC on the channel. You can watch me play this on PC because I have a PC version of this as well. Then we've got Theme Park, made by the same people who made Theme Hospital. I think Theme Park came out first. I've only got it in that order because of the name, the titles, and the fact that they're not direct sequels. Yeah, Theme Park. It's one of the first ever like games where you created a theme park of some kind. Literally, it's named Theme Park, and like Theme Park Tycoon and all the Tycoon games basically owe this game their like founding idea. Bullfrog, who are now 2 Points Hospital developers. They're basically the same developers except under a new name. Yeah, they started their theme series with Theme Park. Oh, so I had Tony Hawk's Skateboarding last time. I got myself Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. For some reason in this region they called the first one Skateboarding instead of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. But because the second game came out and it was Pro Skater 2, they ditched the different title style and they went to the American name and went with Pro Skater. This was the skater game that I always played. This is the game I loved as a kid. Pro Skater 2. It had all the great stuff in it. All the like silly characters like Spider-Man and Officer Dick. Was it Officer Dick? Officer Dick? I think it was Officer Dick. Yeah, I was so glad to get it. It was so hard to find. Next up, we've got a game that I've been looking for a while, and it's really hard to come across for some reason. Even though at the time I think it wasn't particularly rare. There's another movie tie-in game, but this game is great. Like, legit great. It's Toy Story 2 Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue. And basically, you play as... It's just a 3D platformer Toy Story game where you play as Buzz. And you're in all the levels from, like... You're in all the places. All the levels are places from the movie. You just do cool stuff around the levels. Like, this game, while most people would consider it like a shitty movie game, a lot of people love it. I think it's got like a cult following of sorts, just because it's like people love the way it was made. And this is a game. I brought these out at the same time. This is a game that was hard to come across. I never saw it in stores at the time. I played a demo of it and then really wanted to get it because it's a silly racer game, just like it's like a racer tie-in, just like that's a platformer tie-in. But this was just super rare. I don't know if it's any good because I only ever played the demo. But when I saw it on Trade Me, I was like, oh, and I picked it up. I think it was a little bit expensive just because it's so hard to come across. Well, that concludes the PS1 catch-up. If you interrupted the PS2 catch-up to come watch this, you can safely return to the PS2 one now.